Well, good morning. If it's morning where you're at right now watching this, but it's morning for me. And I want to talk about growing onions today. Now, onions are one of the easiest things to grow. They're very forgiving. And matter of fact, somebody told me one time if you have an onion set and you just lay it down on the dirt, you get close to the dirt, the roots will go over there and it'll grow. And I don't think it's that simple, but it's pretty close. They're tough, they're rugged, and they're pretty easy to grow. And when you're all done, a homegrown onion, oh my, they are just great. I remember slicing an onion, that was on a hamburger I was making one time. It was one of our fresh onions. And you can see when you slice the onions, the juices come out of it, in between. You got the onion rings, and if you slice across that, you get there's juice that oozes out, and you don't get that in a store onion. I mean, they're just too dry, but the fresh onions are just delicious. Now, this is the kind of thing you want to end up with, I think. Now, this is what I bought out of the store, so, this isn't one we grew, but this is just a prop. But there's an onion. Now, you see on the ends of onions, there's two ends. There's this end, and that's where the roots come out of. And then there's this end, and that's where the plant comes out of. The tall onion leaves or whatever, the stalk. That's where that comes out of. Now, I've got a couple of them growing over here. Let me show you real quick. Now, these, I don't know what kind of onions these are, but these are some that came up from last year. And they could be bunching onions or something like that, but these are little onion plants. And there's another one right there. And there's another one right there. Now you can see that one. See how the purple color? This is a red onion of some kind, but that's the top, and you can see it's growing like that. And actually, I didn't plant that. It's just, I must have spilled a seed there or something, and there it goes. And this is what this looks like. Here, I pulled one out, but you can see there, that's very small. But if you actually stick it down in there, that's going to grow. That's how tough those things are. Okay, now let me get back here. Now there's two basic ways you can grow an onion. And, well, first of all, let's talk about what kind of onion you can get. There's just basically two kinds of onions. One of them is long day, and the other is short day. And that has to do with how much sunshine you get during the day, how these onions will grow. Now, if you get the wrong onion, like if you get a long day onion and you're in a short day area, the bulb just won't form very good, and vice versa. So you got to pay attention to that. But most of the time, if you go to your local gardening store or something like that, they'll have onion sets. They'll have the right ones for the right area. But do pay attention to that. But okay, once you get past that, you can get onion seeds like this. And this is for a Walla Walla, and I think this one here says that. I'll have to look this one up, but this is a short day onion, I think. And this is another one called a bunching onion. Now this one says on it that this won't form bulbs, but this is meant to give you onion greens and things like that. But there's all kinds of onions out there, lots of them. But this kind of an onion here, is really the end result of what this is. And the other thing about onions is if you look at this, one of the things it says is how long will this take to grow? And it says days to harvest is 120 days for an onion like this. So 120 days, if you think about it, that's about, what, 5 months, 4 months, something like that. And a lot of times, that's not enough time to grow them. But they will winter over and so forth, so you can do that. But what most people do instead of planting seeds is they'll get onion sets. And what the onion sets are, is if you remember, I just pulled this one up. Onion sets are onions that have grown for a few months someplace, and then they pull them up and let them die, and you end up with something like this. If you look in here, these are little tiny onions. And that's what you get when you get onion sets. And you can see here, there's a root end, and there's a tall end, or a plant end. So what you do with these is you basically get yourself a grow bed, a garden plot, or some dirt or whatever. And they like the pH, by the way, 7 or lower. Now, if you don't know what that is, I mean a little bit below 7, not much, but 7 is neutral pH. So if you've got regular soil that you know, doesn't have anything unusual in it, like a lot of ashes or a lot of lime or a lot of other things like that, you're probably okay. If you just go buy a bag of garden soil, you know, at your local gardening store, those are fine. Now, what you do with these is really quite simple, and I'll show you right over here. Okay, so now right here, in one corner of my little grow bed here, now well, all this is a mixture of garden soil and so forth. So you know, you just have to have some soil that's, you know, fairly fluffy and not hard packed, you know, just so that you can do that, you know, and that's pretty good. Now all you do is let me open this up. All you do, and I'll put 2 of these in there, is you take one of these, and again, see, there's a root end, and you can tell there's little roots sticking out. They're all dried up. There's that end, and then there's this end. And that's where the plant's going to come out of. And you just take it in here, and you can just, you know, if you have your soil set, you can just shove it down in there. There you go. And make sure that this little root end is, you know, sticking up a little bit, just so the top is near the soil. And then you can do another one. And let's see here. Now you've got to give them room to grow. They need like 4 or 5 inches, because you know you can see what I'm saying. If you got one that big, it's got to have room over here for another one to grow. So we'll grow this one like right over here. That's a little further away. Push it down in there, and just cover it up. Now we'll do another one right over here. Just these 3, right over there. Okay, you can see that. So now I've got 3 onions in here that ought to grow pretty nice. Now I'm going to grow a bunch more somewhere else, but that's basically all there is to it, to planting onions. And you just keep them watered. Now they don't want it soggy, but they do like it moist. And so you keep it watered and moist and in the full sun, and these will do fine. That's really all there is to growing onions if you grow them by onion sets. Now, if you don't grow them by onion sets, if you grow them by seeds, you can do the same thing. You just plant them, and they will grow, but it'll take a lot longer to grow an onion bulb. And so you're going to need, you know, like 6 months or 5 months of growing time to do that. Well, anyway, that's how you do onions. That's how you grow them. And just to show you the different kinds of onions, there are Vidalia onions, there's Imperial Valley sweet onions, there's Carzilia sweet onion, there's the Maui onions, Pecos onions, Bermuda onions. There's hundreds of different kinds of onions. And it just depends on your taste, what you like. And you can find these if you go into any, you know, store, well, I was going to say big box store, but you'll find, you know, this kind of stuff in the big box stores. But if you go to an online seed or a real nursery garden place, you might find a lot more different kind of onions. Or if you go to someplace like Johnny's Seeds or Burpee's Seeds or some of those other kind of online nursery stores, they do have the hundreds of different kinds of onions there are. And you can buy them in seeds or in onion sets, which is what these are. And you can just plant them that way. But anyway, that's how you do onions. And we'll get back to these a little bit later. I think in about 3 weeks, these should be pretty tall, kind of like these, if you remember looking at those. And you see how they grow. Okay, so it's been, I think, a couple of weeks since we stuffed these onions in here. And as you can see, this one's growing quite well, and so is this one. I don't see anything coming out of this one yet, but it will. But anyway, just show you that's how easy it is to grow onions. Now, what I'm going to do is plant the rest of these. See, these are only 3. I'm going to plant the rest of these over there. And let's see where over there is. Now, over here is another grow bed that I have. And last year I tried to grow some kale in it, and I think I was too late in the season. It didn't come out very well. As you can see, what we've got here, I'm not sure what that is, but we don't want it. Very interesting. And then there's some remnants of kale and some other things that are coming up in here. And a couple of carrots. Right there, one there and one there. I'm going to leave the carrots in there. But what I'm going to do is put the rest of these onions in like that. And so the way you do that, if you'll recall, let me pull some out of here. It's kind of hard to do this one-handed, but there we go. Spilled a few on the ground. And all you do is you look for the pointy end versus the end with the little stubby roots on them, and you just stuff them down in there. See? And leave the pointy end sticking up a little bit. Now keep in mind that these are going to get big, so you want to plant them far enough apart that they have room to grow. So that's what I'm going to do. See, there we go. Now, there's three, for example. See, this one's going to grow, you know, this big, and that one's going to grow that big. So you want to make sure that there's enough room that they can all grow well. So you want to keep them spaced this far apart, or maybe a little further. But anyway, I'm going to plant the rest of these. If I don't run out, I don't think I will, but I'll plant the rest of these in here, and then I'll have a nice little flat of onions. Okay, so now they're all planted. You can see them here and there. Now I hope I haven't crowded them too much. As you can see, this is wet, so it's easy to push them down into the soil, and that's what I've done. Push them down into the soil so that the top, like this, is sticking up and the top is sticking up. Well, that'll work just fine, because the roots will come out of the bottom and it'll seek the roots. Now I hope I haven't crowded them too much. Because as I said, you know, they're going to need room to grow. But we'll just see what happens. Alright, well, until next time, happy gardening!